So I just finished watching the Project Hail Mary movie, and since I read the book, I figured I would go and talk about some of the differences. Hot take, I actually like the movie a lot better. I think it comes down to a few key differences, but overall they were completely different experiences. It's still the same story and it's still pretty accurate to the book, but it focuses a lot more on different aspects. For one, in the book, Ryland Grace slowly gets his memory back piece by piece. And while that does happen in the movie, it happens a lot faster. And I think it does well for the pacing of it all. And we can kind of get into the stakes and the emotional parts a lot more. The next biggest change, which I thought was pretty surprising, is a lot of that science that is in the book, that kind of step by step and really diving into it, is pretty much absent in the movie. A lot of the science is kind of brushed over, and you lose a little bit of that depth, a little bit of that science fun, but you gain it all in characterization and in emotional moments. This is one of the changes I actually liked a lot since it gave more room for those emotional moments to breathe, but I kind of expected a little bit more balance as the book The Martian and the movie The Martian by the same author do. In the movie of The Martian, they still kind of dive into that science that really was lacking in the movie. The biggest upgrade for me was the movie kind of takes Rocky and Ryland that are compelling in the book, but in the movie they are front and center. In the movie, they don't have to compete with all these science puzzles, and instead we're able to see a lot more of the relationship between them, which leads to much more emotional, impactful moments, and much more of a bond that we see with both these characters. Another huge difference is a lot of these side characters and subplots are pretty much cut from the movie. Spoilers, but for example, some of the side characters get blown up in the book. That still happens in the movie, but we really don't even know exactly why, or don't get that kind of emotional or like crazy impactful moment. It kind of just happens, as well as kind of the global politics, the solutions like Antarctica or what happens in Africa with the breeding farms. A lot of that, actually all of it, is pretty much trimmed from the movie. I do wish we got to see a lot more of that in the movie, but I do think the movie kind of keeps it much more focused. That's pretty much the major differences. I think the movie is visually stunning. I actually felt a lot more emotional resonance with the movie, and that was kind of a thought I had while reading this, that I thought it would be better as a movie. I think the book dives more into how everything works, while the movie dives into why it works or why it matters and these characters and all of that. And I kind of resonated with that more, especially since one of the biggest complaints I had about this book was the kind of lack of characterization, or I wanted to see more moments between Ryland and Rocky. But if you love your hard sci-fi, which I do as well, you'll probably like the book more than the movie. But if you like characters, emotions, and stakes more, then you're probably going to like the movie more. I kind of wish there was a better balance between the two, but I think if you read the book and watch the movie, you kind of get the best of both worlds.